Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Southern California Edison, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and Panama Buena Vista Union School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
We are live today at Charles Castle Elementary, home of the Knights, and we're here to... Do the Math!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Chuck. Give us a call. Our phone tutors are here until 5:30. Here in Bakersfield, you can call us at 636-4357. Toll free in the outlying areas, you can call at 1-866-636-6284. You can email us questions at dothemath@kern.org. You can watch your show live online at dothemathonline.net. And you can see us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, well, congratulations to a class at Singlum Elementary.
Nice.
There was a class over there that won the 6th grade call-in contest, so we'll be visiting that classroom tomorrow morning, and we'll find out a little bit more about that class and who the heavy hitters were, the ones that were calling the most. Anyway, this month we have a 5th grade call-in contest going on, and that is starting today. And will be going on for the next 4 weeks, so all the way through the end of February, which is a leap year.
Yes.
We have that February 29th this year. I think that's on a Monday, though. I don't think this
That
is
should
going to
be,
affect
that's right, should be.
the show. But anyway, we have 4 full weeks for students to call in on the 5th grade call-in contest. Before we get to our items of the day, let's first take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, so today's Math in the News, today's Groundhog Day.
It is. Happy Groundhog Day.
Indeed, indeed. And they're, you know, these
I
great
don't know, how
holidays.
do you celebrate Groundhog Day?
Yeah, Groundhog Day. There was an editorial cartoon, and they're waiting for the groundhog to come out, and they're all around, and there's a big group of kids and the officials and everything there. And it said, he won't come out until the election's over. Because the big caucus and everything last night, and all of the circusry, I guess, whatever it is with all the things going on with the election coming up. But it is Groundhog Day, and I figured we'd take a look at a groundhog right here. A lovely rodent it is, a large one. And Punxsutawney Phil is the most famous one that you hear of during these groundhog events for Groundhog's Day.
In Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Now, there are other cities that have these groundhogs, and they name them, you know, theirs also. The one in New York City is Pothole Pete.
Oh, is that right? I don't think I knew that.
So Pothole Pete, if he goes out and sees himself. But are you familiar with any of these other ones?
Not at all.
I just know the one from New York. I know that the mayor, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, had one of these in his head, dropped it. And it wasn't good. It didn't die right then, but I mean, complications and things.
So he's coming up out of a pothole and dodging traffic and just, okay.
That's just his name, Pothole Pete. 636-4357 is the phone number. Now, I figured let's do a little bit of math with this. So probability. The probability that Punxsutawney Phil or Pothole Pete or any other groundhog sees his shadow is basically 50-50.
Right. He either does or he doesn't.
Right. And there are times when they go, oh, you know what? Punxsutawney Phil's been right About 51% of the time. Okay, well, that's over the last 30 years, that's pretty much 50-50 right there.
Pretty good, yeah.
So I figured let's take a look at probability today. So probability, the probability of an event is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over the number of possible outcomes. So an easy example is find P, the probability of an even number with one number cube. So the favorable outcomes would be obviously 2, 4, and 6. Out of the possible outcomes, where you could roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, so we take a look at the probability of getting an even number would be 3 out of 6 or 1/2. And that's how we can tie probability and math into Groundhog's Day, and that is today's Math in the News. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Do remember it is a 5th grade call-in contest going on this month, and in studio with us in just a little while will be the president. I do believe, right? We have the president up here? The president of the Kern County Math Council. So we'll chat with the young man in just a few moments. Right now, we're going to go to our first phone caller of the afternoon, a student from Noble Elementary. Isabel, how are you?
Good.
And you are in 5th grade, correct, Isabel?
Yes.
As soon as you're ready, let's hear that math problem you're working on.
Okay. The math problem is 2/3 times 8/9.
2/3 times 8/9?
Yes.
Okay. So now when we do this problem, we have two choices. We're going to multiply fractions, right? Which means when we multiply fractions, what do?
We need to multiply the numerators and denominators.
Right, so we're going to multiply the numerators. Good use of vocabulary there. Multiply the top numbers, the numerators, and multiply the bottom numbers. And then if we can, we'll reduce it. Now, it's also possible before we do the problem, if we can reduce before, and I don't know if you've done any of this, but can we do any reducing before we do the multiplying? Does anything on top reduce anything on the bottom? It turns out in this problem, the 2/3 doesn't reduce, does it?
No.
The 8/9 doesn't reduce. And when I get my 2 times 8 here and my 3 times 9 over here, do any of these numbers, these factors on top, reduce with any of these factors on the bottom? The 2 and the 9?
No.
Nope. The 8 and the 3? Nope. So it looks like our answer is just going to be 2 times 8 on top and 3 times 9 on the bottom. And the question is, can we reduce 16/27s?
No.
Well, we couldn't do any reducing over here, could we?
No.
Which means we're not going to be able to do any reducing over there, and that's going to be our answer. 16/27 is our answer. Thanks for calling.
Nicely done. Now, Isabel, do you have another problem like that you need to work on? Because that one was pretty quick, and we want to make sure you understand how to do those. Do you have another one to work on?
Not right now.
All right, here's the deal. Let's make one for her, Chuck.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you come up with the first fraction?
Okay, so if we had something like 3/4, let's keep them simple.
And I'll make the second one. We'll go 2/7.
2/7. Okay, so now we can do this problem the same way, can't we?
Yeah.
We could multiply the top, 3 times 2, and we can multiply the bottom, 4 times 7. And then before we multiply, can we do any reducing with these numbers?
No.
The 3 and the 7 don't reduce, do they? But how about the
No.
2 and the 4?
Yeah, they reduce.
Yeah, so I could take 2/4 and divide the 2 and the 4 by the same number. What goes into both 2 and 4?
2.
So divide 2 by 2, I get 1. Divide 4 by 2, I get 2.
2.
And over here, my answer is going to be 3 times 1, that's 3. And 2 times 7, that's 14. And because I did all of the reducing over here, I know that my answer here is going to be reduced. Now,
Yeah.
some students will do this. They'll go 3 times 2, that's 6. And 4 times 7, that's 28. And can you reduce 6 over 28?
Yes.
Yeah, because I can divide 2 here, and I'm going to get 3 over 14. So it doesn't matter if you reduce it first before you multiply, or you multiply first. I know that some teachers have the students do this and then reduce the fraction. Get the same answer, don't you? Great.
Yeah.
Great. Good problem. Thanks for
Nicely
calling.
done, Isabella. You still online with us? Isabella, you still there?
Yes.
All right, well, you know what? For having such a great first problem, we're going to award you a movie ticket, courtesy of our friends at Maya Cinemas. So congratulations on that. Hopefully there's a nice movie you're waiting to see. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. In studio with us right now, a surprise I'm sure it was when you walked into the building, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so with us right now we've got Kyle Atkin. Kyle, you are the president of the Kern County Mathematics Council.
Correct.
And how long have you held that?
First year.
First year?
Yes.
All right, and how long have you been with the Mathematics Council?
The Mathematics Council has been around for a number of years, 9, 10 or so, I believe. We're really trying now to kind of revitalize it, get it kind of going again, and get a lot more involvement than we have in the past.
Right, I know, because there was, it may have been right before the holidays, I think there was a meeting.
Yeah, we had a kickoff event and kind of a social to bring teachers together and network and just kind of talk and introduce each other and get things going and get our registrations for membership going. And now we have kind of a brainstorming session going on tonight for how we can really help teachers out throughout Kern County.
Yeah, because I remember, I know Chuck and I both went to that kickoff meeting, and that was pretty fun to go see. Yeah, make contacts again with people you haven't seen in a long time, and some people new to mathematics. Now, I know that we kind of like, hey, I know you guys have your meeting downstairs this afternoon, and it was like, hey, let's get somebody up here real quick on the show live today. If there's a teacher out there watching right now and they're not part of the Math Council, can they show up and find out what's going on?
Absolutely. They can come down Kern County Superintendent of Schools office. Right now we're going to start at 4:30 and go till about 5:30 and kind of talk and brainstorm. In addition to that, they can go to the website, kerncmc.org, and there's information there on how to join and be a member and just events coming up and different things like that as well.
All right, perfect. So, I mean, if you're a teacher and you want to find out a little bit more about the Kern County Math Council, you obviously know where the Superintendent of Schools building is, downtown Bakersfield. Like Kyle said, it's going to be starting at about 4:30, going until 5:30. And if you are already a member, hopefully you're on your way down and can see exactly what's going on.
Absolutely.
All right, Kyle, I certainly do appreciate you coming
Thank
and
you.
taking out some time
Appreciate
and visiting with us.
Okay.
636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Right now, we're going to go out. We're going to visit Castle Elementary with Marylou.
Thanks, Mike. We are here today
listen.
live at Castle Elementary, and I have a special guest with me, Robert. Hi, Robert.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
And what grade are you in?
Fourth.
Fourth grade. And have you been here since kindergarten?
Yes.
Oh, so you're a true knight then, right? What is your favorite thing about being in fourth grade?
We get to do sports. We get to try out for track. And
Do you like doing sports? Obviously, yeah, I do too. You like track? Is that your favorite?
football.
Football is? All right. Well, I know another favorite of yours is math, huh? And we have some big old bunch of numbers behind us, don't we?
Yes.
So let's talk about these numbers that we have. Now, in your class right now, I know you're learning about prime and composite numbers, correct? Can you tell me what a prime number is?
A prime number is 1 times itself, or
That's it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
One
that's
times
it.
itself. Can you give me an example of one number that's a prime number? That's not, that you don't see on the board.
35.
35. Oh, I think
No,
it's-
36.
No, 36 might not be a prime number because I know 6 times 6 is 36. What about
Oh,
3?
yeah.
What about the number 3? Does anything but 1 times 3 go into that? Would that be a prime number? Okay, let's talk about composite number then. If a prime number is only 1 in itself, then what's a composite number?
2 times
Anything.
any number.
Right? 2 times any number. So it's something that has 3 or more numbers that can go into it, right? Okay, so we have some numbers up here. We need to determine if they're prime or if they're composite. So why don't we go ahead and start with this one, 6. What do you think, Robert? Prime or composite?
Composite.
Okay, let's write the word then right here on the line for me, okay? Okay, let's go over to 49. What do you think? Do you think that's prime or composite?
Prime.
Okay, well, let's think. Yes, we know 1 times 49 is 49, but is there a number times itself that equals 49? Let me give you a clue. What about 7? What's 7 times 7?
49.
It's 49. So it's not prime, it's what?
Composite.
It's also composite. I know that's a tricky one, huh? Because you see that it ends in a 9 and you think automatically, oh, that's going to be prime because it ends in an odd number. Okay, 29. What do you think?
Prime.
You got it. That is prime. Only 1 times 29. Okay, we got 64. Now let's look at this. This ends in an odd number, doesn't it? And this one we know is prime, but this ends in an even number. So what do you think that's going to be? Prime?
Composite.
It's composite, yep. Because 2 can go into that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go over here to 33. What do you think? Yes, we know 1 times 33 is 33, but is there any other numbers that equal 33?
Yes.
What is that?
11 times 3.
You got it. So it's not a prime, it's a what?
Composite.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think about 89? Again, let's look at that odd number.
Prime.
Yeah, that one's a prime. That's the trick, huh, to look at the last number to kind of help us to think. Now we got a 52 and it ends in an even number, so it's,
Composite.
yep. Okay, and the number 7.
Prime.
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so you know your even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, out of those numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, which number is the only even number that is not composite, that is prime? Do you know that? Out of these numbers here, we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. One of these numbers is actually prime.
2.
You got it, it is. That's the only even number that is prime. Now, do you know what the number 1 is? Do you think it's prime, composite, or neither?
I think it's prime.
It's actually neither. This is the only number that's neither. It's not prime and it's not composite. There you go. And you know what? Awesome job, and thank you for teaching everybody about prime and composite numbers today. Good job, Robert.
All right, nicely done. Marylou let Robert know that his name is now entered into the drawing for the 4-pack to go see the Bakersfield Condors as well right now. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. We actually have a 5th grade call-in contest going on during this entire month, and today is the first of 8 days that kids can call in on that and see if they can get their classroom to be the one that phones in the most. Right now we have a phone caller from Thompson. Sammy, how are you?
Good?
And you're in 7th grade, correct?
Yeah?
All right, as soon as you're ready, let's hear the math problem that you're working on.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Okay.
Tell me the problem. What is it?
Rebecca earns a 5.5% commission on everything she sells at the jewelry store where she works. She also earns a base salary of $350 per week. How much did she earn last week if she sold $1,200 in jewelry merchandise?
Okay, and
Sold
let's see.
$1,200 worth of merchandise.
That was going to be my question. Sales were $1,200, $1,200. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
So these were her sales for the week, and she makes a commission on her sales, but she makes $350 in salary, right? This is salary. Okay, so we know that she's going to get paid $350, right, in salary. But we have to add to that her commission, don't we? So
Yeah.
we have to figure out what her commission is. We know that if she doesn't sell anything, and we hope that doesn't happen, if she doesn't sell anything, she makes $350, but no commission. For everything she sells, she's going to get a percentage of that, and she's going to get 5.5%, right? So how are we going to figure out her commission? Do you
We
know?
would have to move the decimals from 5.5, right?
Right, so we're going to take 5.5, but what are we going to do with that 5.5%?
Move the decimal 2 spots to the left.
Okay, so I'm going to take 5.5, so what's that going to be as a decimal?
0.55.
0.55. So moving that decimal, we change 5.5% to 0.055. Now what are we going to do with that?
Now we're gonna.
Because what do we want to take 5.5% of? Let's squeeze this in here. We're going to take 5.5% commission of what?
Of her salary.
Well, see, her salary she makes each week regardless of how much she sells. Her commission is based on how much she sells.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to take 5.5% of her weekly sales, which in this case is $1,200.
300 or 1,200.
Right? So $1,200. So we're going to take 5.5% of that $1,200, and you said, let's change that percent to a decimal. There's your 0.055. Now, how do we change this to a problem we can do? What does that of mean to do? What operation, do you know?
Divide.
Well, let's see. I'm going to take 5.5% of $1,200. It turns out that the of means multiply. So we're going to change that to a decimal, and we're going to multiply it times 1,200. Okay?
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do that over here. Let's take our $1,200 and multiply it times 0.055. This shouldn't be too hard because it's two numbers the same. Let's go ahead and multiply this by 5, right? By 0 and 0. What's 5 times 2? And 5 times 1 plus the 1. That looks like that's going to be 6,000, right?
Yeah.
Now we move over one place and do it again. But it's the same number, isn't it? Right? So I
Yeah.
multiply 5 times 1,200 again. I still get 6,000. When I add these up, if I can squeeze this in here, I get 66000. But I need a decimal point, don't I?
Yeah.
Where is that decimal point going to go on this 66,000?
On the by the 66 right after that one.
Yeah, because how many decimal places do I need?
3.
1, 2, 3 in the problem, right? So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 in the answer. So it looks like that's going to be 66.000. We don't need all of those zeros for money. It's just $66, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to make $350 that week. Plus, because she sold that much in sales, she's going to get 5.5% of that, which is $66. So now, what's her total salary for that week? Her salary plus her income plus her commission. Just add these up, and we're going to get
It is
5 and 6 is 1, right? So is that what we get? 350 plus 66 looks like it's going to be $416. So the key to the problem is take 5.5% of her sales, right? Do that multiplication, and then add it to her base salary that she gets each week. Okay? Thanks for the call.
Nicely done, Sammy. Do remember we have phone tutors available until 5:30 if you have some more problems like that you need to work on. We'll be back with our next phone caller and our other tutor for the afternoon right after this. Well, today we're in Shafter. We're at Sequoia Elementary School, and today we're here to All right, well, today we're at Sequoia Elementary School, and with me today I've got 6th grader Malachi. How are you?
Good.
You ready to go? All right, why don't you go ahead and read the problem that we have to do.
Find the GCF plus the LCM of 12 and 15.
Now, there's some students that are watching this for the first time that have no idea what that means. What is that?
It means greatest common factor,
Perfect. Greatest common factor, and the other one is?
lowest common multiple.
Right, lowest common multiple or least common multiple. And the two numbers we need to work with are 12 and 15. So would you like to do the greatest common factor first or the least common multiple?
The greatest common factor.
All right, why don't you grab the marker and why don't you explain to me how you plan on finding the greatest common factor?
I plan on it by first putting the 1, then I put times, of course, 12.
Okay.
Then I do 2 times 6. Then I could do 3 times 4.
So you're just looking for numbers that go into 12?
Yes.
Right, those are factors of 12.
Then since 3 can't, it's 3 can't, it's already like 3 and 4.
Right, you're at the end
So
now, right?
it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 that go into 12.
Perfect.
Then for 15, it's 1 times 15. Then 2 doesn't go into 15. 3 goes into 15 5 times. And that's all.
Okay. Because we know
So-
4 won't, right? That would be the next one to go to, but 4 won't go into 15 evenly. We know 2 won't because it doesn't end in a 0 for an even number. All right.
So the GCF is 3 because there's only 2 numbers that fit into each other, and that's 1, but 3 is greater than 1.
Okay. So over on the side, why don't you just write GCF and what that equals? Perfect. So now let's do the least common multiple. All right, so what we'll do is we'll get rid of this. We'll make a little more room if you need to. We've got the greatest common factor. So how do we do the least common multiple now?
Least common multiple, so you put 12 and 15,
Okay.
and since 3 goes into it, you could put 3. It goes in 4 times. Then 3 goes into 15 5 times. 3 doesn't go into nor of them or any other number except 1.
Right.
But that's prime. So it's 3 times 4 times 5 is 60.
Perfect.
So LCM equals 60.
Good. And that was a nice way of doing it where you had 12 and 15, 3 goes into both because you knew the factor goes in there 4, 5, and you know that it's not going to work with anything else. So we found the greatest common factor and the least common multiple. Malachi, perfect work. Nicely done. Well, today we're at Sequoia Elementary School, and with me today I have Faith, a 5th grader who's going to learn a new way to multiply. Are you ready, Faith? Mm-hmm. All right, why don't you grab the pen? And you came up with these numbers, 24 and 36. So why don't you go ahead and multiply them as you're doing it. Explain to me what you're doing.
Okay. 4 times 6 is 24. And then 6 times 2 is 12. Plus 2, 14.
Okay.
And then 3 times 4 is 12.
Now, why did you write the 2 there instead of over there?
Because you're skipping 1 over.
Right. So you're doing it correctly. I was just wondering so that other kids that are learning how to multiply, because now we're multiplying by the 10 spot instead of the 1s, which is why sometimes students put a 0 or an X or something down there.
Okay. And then you're going to put your 1 on top.
Okay.
And then 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1 is 7.
All right.
And then you're going to add them. And 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 7 plus 1 is 8.
Okay, so let's see how this works. So let's go over here and we're going to go 24 and 36. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to draw some diagonals in there. All right, and we're going to do this single digits. All right, so what's 4 times 3?
12.
So put a 1 and a 2. And 4 times 6?
24.
Okay, so go ahead and put that in there. And now 2 times what?
2 times 3
Right.
is 6.
Well, we'll put the 6 here because there's no 10s in there, right? There you go. So put a 0 up there. And then now what do we multiply?
2 times 6
Okay.
is 12.
Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is just bring the numbers down, all right? So in this diagonal, what numbers do we have?
4.
So just put a 4 there. And now this one,
It would be 2,
well, add them all up,
6.
okay? And now this one,
8
okay?
here.
And there's nothing in this one, it's just a 0, right? So if you read the number going across like this, what is it?
864.
Which is exactly what you got the other way, right? So it's just a different way to multiply. Faith, nicely done. And a special thanks to all of the students and staff that helped us out on that day out at Sequoia School. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Don't forget 1-866-636-6284 if you're calling from outlying areas of Kern County, as well as San Luis Obispo County. And if you are calling from San Luis Obispo County and we do your math problem on TV, you automatically win yourself some ice cream, courtesy of our friends at Doc Bernstein's Ice Cream Lab. In studio with us now, we've got April. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How's school going?
Well,
Yeah?
Yes.
You working the kids hard?
of course.
Excellent. That's all we wanted to hear right there. First, before we have you do the equation that we have, that we need help with, Jaritzi, a 5th grade student from Noble Elementary. Jaritzi, if you're watching, we need you to phone back because we need a different phone number so we can call you back and then get you on air and we can do your problem on TV. So once again, Jaritzi, 5th grade student from Noble Elementary, if you can call back, and then we'll get the phone number straightened out, and that way we can call you back and get you on air and do your problem for you. All right, young lady, here we go. We have an equation we need you to solve. 38 is equal to -3, open parentheses, 4y plus 2, close parentheses, plus y.
Okay, so for this problem, we have to multiply -3, because it's on the outside of the parentheses, with all of the terms on the inside of the parentheses. So -3 times 4y will give me -12y, and -3 times 2 will give me 6. And then I'm going to bring down all of the other numbers in the problem, and then I look to see if I can combine any like terms, and -12y and y are the same term, so I'm going to combine them using my integer rules. So then I have 38 equals -12y plus y is -11y plus 6, and now I have to isolate the y, so I have to use inverse operation and subtract 6.
April, I think we missed the minus sign up there. Wasn't it
Did I?
4y plus 2 inside the parentheses?
Oh,
And you got
yes.
to distribute that
I
to the
did.
minors, right?
And that's my normal mistake. I forget to distribute
Yeah.
negatives.
It's that second line there.
Got it. So here, thank you, I should have a -6, and same thing there?
Perfect.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go.
So instead of inverse operation now would be to add 6 to both sides of the equal sign, and -11y equals
So I think the problem's going to work out a lot nicer. than
44. Still isolating y, so I'm going to divide by negative 11 on both sides, and y is going to equal negative 4.
All right, nicely done right there. Negative 4 is correct. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors here until 5:30. It is a 5th grade call-in contest going on for this month of February. Groundhog Day.
Yes.
Do you have any, do you ever remember celebrating Groundhog Day in any way when you were younger at all?
No.
No, I don't think, it's like, oh, hey, you celebrate Groundhog Day, it's great. We were talking a little bit before because Punxsutawney Phil is the famous one. Do you remember any groundhogs or any other cities where they had names for their...
I do not.
Okay. I was thinking of one, I think it's in Atlanta.
Really?
Beauregard Lee, I think, or something sounds the name. But anyway, Pothole Pete was the only one that I could think of, from New York. But you had an interesting fact, and what else did you want to share about that?
Well, you asked about celebrating Groundhog Day. It turns out that my sons and I actually celebrated Groundhog Day for a few years by watching the movie Groundhog Day year after year, because that's what happens in the movie. We probably watched it 4 or 5 years in a row before
There you
they
go. Well, that's one
finally
way to
got tired of
celebrate.
it. But
Well, yeah, I was going to say after a while. It's like young kids when they get hooked onto a movie, they watch it every day for
they did, yeah.
months on end. Anyway, hopefully, once again, let's put this out there. Jaritzi, a 5th grade student from Noble Elementary. If you give us a call back, we can get your phone number and we can work on that math problem. But until then, surface area of a rectangular prism is what we're going to have you
Good.
working
We
on.
did some of these last week, I think.
Right. So the length is 20 inches.
Length, 20 inches.
The width is 5.
Width, 5 inches
And the height is 8.
is 8 inches. Okay,
And we
so
need the surface area of that
it's
rectangular
going to
prism.
look something like this, right? Width of 5, height of 8, and it's going to be back here. If I can get this here, let me move it down. Just ran out of room here. So here is my box, something like that. It's 5 inches, 20 inches, and 8 inches. So what we want to do is find the surface area, and we're going to do that by finding the area of all of these surfaces. And because this is a 3-dimensional box, we know there are going to be 6 surfaces we have to find. We're going to find the front and the back, which very nicely in this box have the same area. We're going to find the right side area and the left side area, which again are going to be the same. And we're going to find the area of the top and the area of the bottom. So I only actually have to find 3 areas and then just make sure I take each of them twice. So let's find the front. And the area of the front is going to be, I know it's a rectangle, so it's going to be length times width. So this area is going to be 5 times 8. 5 times 8, which is 40. And let's see, we know it's inches times inches, so it's going to be inches squared.
And just put a 0 in there after your 4.
I said 40, didn't I?
Right.
40 inches squared. So that's the area of the front, which is also the area of the back, so I'm going to take 2 of those when I figure my surface area. I'm going to take the right side. Let's find that area. That area is going to be length times width. So it's going to be length of 20, right? In this case, the base, and the height is 8. So this is going to be 20 times 8, which is going to be 160 square inches. Again, inches times inches. And the top, that area is going to be also length times width. Now my length is 20 and my width is only 5. So that's this area on the very top. That's going to be 20 times 5. And so that's going to be 100 square inches. So I've got my three surfaces that I just found. I got the front. I'm going to use the front and the back. I've got the right side, and I'm also going to use the left side. And I've got the top, and I'm also going to use the bottom. So my surface area over here, surface area, is going to be two of these areas. The front and the back, that's going to be 2 times 40, and I'll put my units at the end, plus the right and the left, so I'm going to take 160 2 times, plus the top and the bottom, 2 times 100, and I'm going to take, right, the top and the bottom twice. So that's going to be, let's see what that works out to be. 2 times 40, that's going to be 80, plus 2 times 160. Well, that's going to be 0, 12, 320, plus 2 times 100, which is 200. Very nicely, 320 plus 80, 20 and 80 is 100. So that's going to be 400 plus the 200 here. So it looks like my surface area is going to be 600. And again, I've added up units of square inches for that problem. So it should be 600 square inches.
And indeed it is, so thank you much for that. Right now, we're going to head back out to Castle Elementary and visit with Marylou.
Thanks, Mike. We are live here today at Castle Elementary. We are at the ACES After School program, and I have another special guest with me, Natalie. Hey, Natalie.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Good.
And are you also in 4th grade?
Yes.
Ah, now I asked Robert what his favorite thing about 4th grade was, and it was obviously sports. What is your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is that we get to go on the Long Beach Aquarium field trip.
Now, when do you get to go there?
March.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
It's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. March, oh man, that's next month, huh? All right, and obviously we have some more math problems that we need to do. Now, Robert was doing prime and composite, but you are dealing with fractions, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes. So the first 3 problems we have is where we want to write the fraction in simplest form. Can you kind of help me out with these?
Yeah. So 3 times 2 would equal 6. So we would put 3 right here, and then 4 times 2 would equal 8.
So we're putting a 4 there.
Yeah.
So what we're really doing is if we work backwards, okay, you were giving multiplication, right? But if we work backwards, opposite multiplication is to divide, right? Can I divide both of these actually by 2?
Yes.
Do I get the same answer?
Yes.
Yeah, so we could go either forward or backwards. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Here we have 100 over 100. How do we simplify that?
We would just put that as one whole.
Why? Why is that as one whole?
Because it's the same number, and it's a whole.
It is a whole. So if I have a candy bar and I'm going to break it into 100 pieces and I eat 100 pieces, did I eat that whole candy bar?
Yes.
Okay, let's show one whole. There you go. Now, Natalie, lead us through this one, 2 over 6. Simplify that for us.
So our multiple would be 2, so we could divide that.
Are we dividing that by 1 or are we dividing this by 2? What do you think? Can I divide 6 by 2?
Yes.
I can. So let's change this and let's put a 2 here, okay? What's 2 divided by 2?
1.
There you go. And then what, were we going to do the same thing on the 6?
Yes.
Okay.
And then this.
Are we going to divide it by 2 as well?
Yes.
And there we go. So 2 6 simplifies to 1/3, right? Yes. So they're actually equal fractions, aren't they?
Yeah.
And over here we know 100 over 100 is 1 whole. And we have our 6 over 8 is the same as 3 over 4. Now we have some on the bottom here. Now in these ones, what we're going to do is we're going to find out if they're equal or not equal. Okay? So here's our first one, Natalie. We have 6 over 12 and we have 1 over 12. Are those equal?
No,
Why are those not equal?
because first the 6 would be farther than the 1 on the fraction chart.
That's right, yeah. So let's put a not equal sign between those. There we go. And they both have the same denominator, huh?
Yeah.
So it would be really easy if we had fraction bars to figure that out, right? One piece, I'd rather have the 6 out of 12 candy than just the 1. I'd still be hungry. I still want the 100 pieces though. Okay, here we have 3 over 12 and we have 1 over 4. And these are different, aren't they?
Yes.
Can we reduce this like we did on these 3 up here?
Yes.
Can we simplify this so to compare it a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, how can I simplify 3 over 12?
You can simplify it by dividing.
Dividing. What am I going to divide them both by? What number goes into both of those? Does 3 go into 3?
Yes.
Yeah, I could divide that by 3. Can I divide 12 by 3?
Yes.
So can I divide them both by 3?
Yes.
Okay. So you're telling me that 3 over 12 is the same as?
1 over 4.
So they're what? Are they equal?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's just put above it up there. So yes, those are equal. Where over here, it's pretty evident that those aren't equal. But here, 3 over 12 and 1 over 4, even though they, just looking at it, would you have guessed that they were equal?
No.
No, just looking at it, that was a little bit trickier, but when we simplify it down, we can see, yeah, they actually are equal. Great job today, Natalie. All right, Mike, back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. You know what? What you can also do with Natalie is show her how you can cross multiply. And you go 1 times 12 is 12 and 3 times 4 is 12. That way it's another way to check to make sure that those are equal. And let Natalie know that she's
I definitely will
also
do that.
in the drawing for those 4 tickets to go see the Condors. So we'll find out who wins those
All right,
at the end of the show today. All right, Jaritzi, we did not have an opportunity to get back with Jaritzi on the phone, so we're going to go ahead and do that problem for her right now. Hopefully she's viewing the program. 3 over 4 times 5 over 8. And we just simply need to multiply that and figure out what it is.
So when we multiply, we can either multiply straight across or we can simplify first. We can look horizontally or we can look diagonally to see if we can reduce. And so if I look diagonally, 5 and 4 don't have a common factor, and neither does 3 and 8. So I'm going to multiply straight across. 3 times 5 is 15, and 4 times 8 is 32, but I still want to check to see if there's any way that I can reduce or make this fraction smaller, and I cannot. So 15 over 32 will be the answer.
All right, nicely done. And it seems as though a lot of those 5th grade students from Noble Elementary in Mr. Knox's class are working on those problems, which is what the first young lady phoned in with also right there. So do remember, we have phone tutors available until 5:30, and it is a 5th grade call-in contest month going on, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Today's a culminating activity of our 4 years of experience. It actually wraps up in our class called the Aero Engineering class, where they've been studying both aeronautics, planes, rockets, that type of thing, and space exploration.
Now we're having more of a physical problem.
Right, because if you hear the little sound that goes, "Eh," that means something is trying to force itself.
It's hard to get it, make sure it's taut, and then it gets too much slack, and then the motors won't be able to drive it.
I've taken some computer science classes, so I'm actually very good with the coding, but just coding doesn't make it work. We need to all work together to get a joint project like this done.
No, it just hangs in the back.
Touch anything?
So about 4 years ago, Chevron started this little journey. We partnered with Project Lead the Way, which provides project-based, hands-on, rigorous curriculum for high school students and middle school students. We're able to support them from one school to now 24 schools throughout Kern County. We've invested close to $1 million to help students realize that they can become technicians, engineers, teachers, basically become leaders in today's society. We want them to become competitive, and this will help them maintain that competitive edge in the global economy.
I was encouraged to apply for the Chevron Stars program here in Bakersfield, where students are offered a chance to work with Chevron over the summer to develop professional skills in the workplace. So I'm really excited that I've been given this opportunity to work here in Bakersfield. It will be my first job.
There you go. That's what we're looking for.
Chevron's been a big pillar in what has kept this classroom functioning. Chevron sponsors a lot of our technology. We have new computers, new materials, and things to use because of Chevron. Without Chevron, most of this wouldn't be as great as it is.
It came off
No,
under.
one.
Right here. I think it came off. It came off this.
We have 81 seniors in Project Lead the Way. Over 85% of them are pursuing engineering and STEM disciplines. We knew it would work, but for us to see it come together, it's just amazing. We're really proud of it.
Oh yeah, you
Still no.
There you go. That's what we're looking for.
There's a lot of success stories in PLTW. Some of them were always going to be successful. They entered, they were great students from the very beginning, they were always going to make it through, and they were probably going to be engineers, but we just gave them a step up and a more realistic view of what it's going to be like when they get to college. But it's the ones that really didn't know, maybe even had slightly weak math skills, but realized the engineering's so valuable that they worked harder in their math class. They never quit, they never gave up, they kept pushing for it because they saw the goal at the end. They recognized a valuable end product, as opposed to sometimes in classes, students don't always see that as an end product. Here they saw the end product and they were willing to fight for it a little bit harder. That's the success story of PLTW.
Well, we will be heading out to Castle Elementary in just a few moments, but first we have an expression we need simplified.
Okay.
So let's start off with 3, open parentheses, 2x minus 5, close parentheses, plus 8, open parentheses, x plus 2. And we simply need to simplify.
All right, so this is a really good problem to help get ready to solve those equations that especially a lot of the 6th graders are doing. So we want to make the equation a little bit easier by simplifying this, and that means getting rid of the parentheses, combining terms, and then we can do an easier problem. So to remove the parentheses, we know we're going to use the distributive property. We're going to multiply everything inside the parentheses by 3, so that'll give us a 6x minus 15. We're going to multiply everything inside this set of parentheses by 8. That'll give us an 8x plus 8 times 2 is 16. So, gotten rid of all the parentheses. Now we could move these things around, but all I have to do is look for my like terms. I've got like terms of 6x and x because the variables are the same and they're to the same degree. They're just x to the first power. So I've got 6x plus 8x. You got to be careful. That minus goes to the 15. So it's not 6x minus 8x. It's 6x and then plus 8x. So that's going to be 14x. Now I've got a minus 15 and a plus 16, or a plus 16 minus 15. 16 minus 15 is 1, so that looks like that should be plus 1. I don't have any other terms to take care of. I've combined all my terms. It looks like our simplified expression is 14x plus 1.
All right, nicely done. Thanks for that. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Right now, let's go for the last time out to Castle Elementary with Marylou.
It has been a wonderful day here at Castle Elementary ACES After School program, and I wanted to thank my new friends, Natalie and Robert, for helping us out today. And I have a little present for each of you. It's for you and you. Why don't you hold those up? Now you have to promise that you're going to wear these to school and tell all of your friends to call Do the Math when they need math help on their homework, okay? Because guess what? The phone number is right there on the front. And remember, it's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. We're there to help you out, okay? And then I have another special guest with me today. I have Susie Vargas with the ACES After School Program. Yes. And Susie, what is your title?
I'm the ACES mentor for the program, so we assist, it's two of us, we assist our program leaders, our site managers, and we also help with trainings as well.
Now, we've been talking, and there's a lot going on here at Castle.
Yes.
Can you kind of fill us in on what's going on?
Of course. So they just actually completed the current schools unit, so they learned about banking, their checkings accounts, savings accounts, how to use a debit card, and tomorrow they're actually going to be taking a field trip to their headquarters, and so they're going to get a tour of the building.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so they're really excited. They've also raised money for the Links for Life organization through a rummage sale that they hosted at their site. And so that was a lot of fun for them. And then we've also done the Ronald McDonald House charity as well. So that's a couple of things that they've done here too.
And now I know we were talking about that because there's so much to do with the Ronald McDonald, but you told me one that I didn't know about. What did they do to raise funds for that?
So what they did is all they did was they had to collect the pull tabs from the soda cans, and we just dropped those off. And so what they do is they recycle them and they get the money for it.
Wow, it
Yeah.
sounds like you guys are really busy.
Oh, yes.
Anything else coming up, or is that?
You know what we do? We have a registration night coming up on February 18th. It's on a Thursday at Actus Junior High. For any students that are wanting to participate in ACES, they can, their parents can attend the registration and get them signed up there.
Again, what was that date?
February 18th. It's on a Thursday at Actus Junior High.
Okay, all right. Remember that. And again, I want to thank everybody here for letting us come and visit. And it's been great. And you guys remember, what did we say?
Do that!
All right. All right, thank you. And back to you, Mike, in the studio.
All right, thanks for that, Marylou. You threw those guys right out there quick. Like, what are we doing? They sounded like, hey, we're just watching you guys do the interview over there. All right, we do have a 5th grade call-in contest going on all month. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. But right now, with all of the students that have participated in the program today, let's see who's going to the Condors.
And it's going to be Isabel.
All right, there you go, Isabel. Congratulations. Going to see the Condors with a 4-pack. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, California Resources Corporation, Kern County Water Agency, Southern California Edison, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, and Panama Buena Vista Union School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.